You got laid off, or you walked away, and now you are staring at a blank resume, thinking the same thing a lot of smart women think at 40. I do not actually have any skills. You ran a department. You managed people who are still texting you for advice. You held budgets together with your bare hands. But because nobody ever handed you a certificate that said this is a skill, you have convinced yourself it was just your job. I want to take you on a little tour today. We are going to walk through the most ordinary, boring, eye-rolling things you do without even thinking. And I'm going to show you the exact freelance and fractional services those things turn into, who pays for them, why they pay well. By the end, you're going to be a little annoyed. In a good way, because you are going to realize you do all of these. Let me name the thing keeping you stuck before we go anywhere. You think skills are the stuff with a course and a badge attached. Coding, graphic design, the thing your nephew does on the computer. So when you look at 15 years of just doing your job, you see nothing sellable. Here is what is actually true. The reason your job felt boring is that you got good enough to make hard things look easy. That is what mastery feels like from the inside. It feels like nothing. Meanwhile, the company 2 miles away is paying real money for a contractor to do the thing you did before your first coffee. The market does not care whether you have a certificate. The market cares whether you can solve a problem that costs someone time, money, or sleep. You have been solving those problems for years. So let us go through them one at a time, slowly, and put a price tag on the boring. Quick thing, if this is making sense so far, hit like so more people in your shoes can find it. Think about what you walk into on a normal Monday. A pile of half-finished things, competing priorities, 3 people who all believe their fire is the biggest. And within an hour, somehow, it has order. You did not even notice you did it. You sorted, you sequenced, you decided what waits. That instinct has a name in the freelance world. It is called operations support, or fractional operations. Small businesses are drowning in this exact chaos, and they have no one who can see the whole board the way you do. The founder is brilliant at the thing they sell and completely buried by everything else. They will hand you the mess on purpose. Who buys this? Agencies, e-commerce shops, busy solo founders pulling in good revenue with no backbone behind them. This is not a low rung. Operations is one of the more in-demand and well-paying things you can offer, precisely because so few people can actually do it. You can. You have been doing it for free for 15 years. You know the moment someone on the team writes a tense, messy, slightly panicked email, and they bring it to you first. Can you look at this? And you rewrite 3 lines, and suddenly it is calm, clear, and it gets a yes instead of a fight. You think of that as being helpful. It is a service. Clear writing is shockingly rare, and businesses bleed money over fuzzy communication. The freelance versions of this are everywhere. Email and communication support, internal documentation, cleaning up the proposals and onboarding messages a company sends that quietly make them look amateur. You are not selling poetry. You are selling clarity. And clarity that gets results is something owners will gladly pay a premium for. Who buys it? Coaches, consultants, small agencies, anyone whose words are their storefront. The bar out there is lower than you think. You clear it without trying. Here is a competence you have completely stopped noticing. You take a vague goal and a deadline, and you turn it into who does what, by when, and what happens if it slips. You chase the people who go quiet. You see the bottleneck 3 weeks before it becomes a crisis. In the corporate world, they may have called you a coordinator or a lead or just the dependable one. Out here, it is called project management, and the fractional version of it is genuinely sought after. Businesses launch things constantly: a website, a product, a move, an event. And they consistently underestimate how badly they need one steady person holding the timeline. You are that person by reflex. You do not panic at a Gantt chart. You do not need to be chased because you are the one who chases. That reliability, that quiet steadiness, is the entire product. People pay well to stop feeling out of control, and you are the cure. I know you do not think of yourself as a numbers person, but watch what actually happens. Someone hands you a horrifying spreadsheet, the kind with merged cells and a tab called Final V3, and you make it make sense. You build the simple report that tells the boss what is actually going on. You spot the number that is wrong before anyone else does. That is data and reporting work. And it is quietly one of the most valuable things a small business cannot do for itself. Owners are sitting on piles of numbers they do not understand. Sales, ad spend, inventory, customer data. They feel the fog, but they cannot lift it. You can turn that fog into one clean page that says, here is what is working and here is what is not. You do not need to be a data scientist. You need to be the person who is not scared of the spreadsheet and who can explain it in plain English. That combination is rare and it pays. Every job you have ever had came with a difficult person, the furious client, the customer threatening to leave, the vendor who dropped the ball and now wants to argue about it, and you were the one sent in. Because you do the thing where the temperature in the room drops 10 degrees the moment you start talking. You let them feel heard, you do not take the bait, and you walk them back to reasonable. That is not a personality trait you should give away. It is client relations, account management, customer experience, and Businesses lose customers every single day over moments that a person like you would have saved in a 5-minute phone call. They know it too. An owner who has watched good customers walk away over nothing will absolutely pay someone steady to be the calm in the room. This is emotional labor, yes, but emotional labor with this much skill behind it is a premium service, not a favor. Let me describe a Tuesday. The printer is late, the software renewal is wrong, the contractor invoiced for things he did not do, and someone needs to get on the phone and sort all of it out without starting a war. That someone was you. Vendor and supplier management is its own quiet craft. You know how to follow up without nagging, how to hold someone to what they promised, how to renegotiate without burning the relationship. Small business owners are terrible at this, usually because they are too nice or too busy or both. And it costs them constantly in overcharges and missed deadlines. You can step in as the person who manages those relationships, keeps everyone honest, and frees the owner from 100 tiny annoying conversations. It sounds unglamorous because it is. Unglamorous and necessary is exactly where the steady, well-paid freelance work lives. The flashy stuff gets attention, the reliable stuff gets retainers. Remember every new hire who was lost and overwhelmed until they got put with you. You showed them the unwritten rules. You answered the dumb questions without making them feel dumb. Within 2 weeks, they were actually useful, and a lot of that was you. That is training and onboarding, and it is a real service that real companies pay for. As a business grows, it has to bring people in, and most owners are awful at it. They throw a new hire into the deep end and then wonder why they quit in a month. You know how to build a simple path. Here is how we do things. Here is who to ask. Here is what good looks like. You can create the onboarding docs, the little training videos, the checklist that turns chaos into a smooth first week. Companies will pay for that because every person who quits early costs them a fortune to replace. You make people stick. That is worth money. This is the one you are most likely to dismiss, so pay attention. Somewhere in every job you have had, there was a process that was stupid. Everyone complained about it, and nobody fixed it, except you quietly rerouted it, cut the 3 useless steps, and made the thing that used to take a day take an hour. You probably never even told anyone. That is process improvement. And at the fractional level, it has fancy names and real budgets behind it. A business owner feels the friction. Things take too long. Balls get dropped. The same problem keeps coming back. What they cannot do is step outside their own machine and see why. You can. You walk in, you watch how the work actually flows, and you find the dumb step everyone stopped questioning. Fixing that one thing can save a company more in a month than they pay you. That is the kind of value that makes a freelancer impossible to let go of. Let me pull back for a second so you see the pattern. Notice what every single one of these has in common. None of them is glamorous. None of them goes on a billboard. All of them solve a real problem that is actively costing someone time, money, or peace of mind. That is the part people get wrong about the freelance world. They think you have to sell something exciting and new. You do not. You have to sell relief. The owner who cannot find anything, who is drowning in email, who keeps losing customers, who dreads the spreadsheet, who has a process that wastes a day a week. That person is in pain and they have a budget. The reason this kind of work pays well is not that it is rare to do. It is that it is rare to do reliably, calmly, and without needing to be managed. You are not competing with 22-year-olds. You are offering the one thing experience buys, which is judgment. People pay a premium for judgment because it lets them stop worrying. So here is what I actually want you to take from this. Everything we just walked through, you already do. Not someday, not after a course, not once you feel ready. Today, in your sleep, better than most people who charge for it. The only thing standing between you and getting paid for it is that you have never sat down and made the list. You have never looked at 15 years and translated it from corporate noise into services with names and buyers. That translation is the whole game, and it is the part that feels impossible to do for yourself because you are too close to it. It all just looks like your job to you. It takes someone, or something, standing outside your head to point and say that. Right there, that is the product. So let us do that next. Let us actually build your list. This is exactly why I want you to try the free skills match at freelance.com. It takes about 5 minutes. You answer some honest questions about the work you have actually done, the messes you fixed, the things people always came to you for, and it hands you back the thing you cannot quite see on your own. A plain list of the freelance and fractional services your experience already adds up to, and the kind of people who buy them. No fluff, no big promises, no pressure to do anything after. It is just the inventory we talked about today, made specific to you. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. You are not starting from zero. You are starting from 15 years of doing the boring things brilliantly. Go let the match show you the map. Then you can decide what to do with it. If you got even a little annoyed during this video, the good kind, where you kept thinking, wait, I do that too, then listen, that feeling is your real resume waking up. You did not lose your skills when you lost the job. You just never had anyone name them out loud. So go do that now. The free 5-minute skills match at freelance.com will take what you have spent 15 years doing without thinking and hand it back to you as a clear list of services and the people who pay for them. No cost, no catch, no pressure, just your own experience, finally translated into plain English. You are not behind, you are not too late, and you are definitely not without skills. Go find out what you have been sitting on this whole time. When you are ready, head over to freelancefitai.com for your free sellable skill report.